This track of the Allie G Show is officially sponsored by Backline Running. For those who aren't familiar, Backline is a Brooklyn-based performance apparel company that I've been connected with and loving for a very, very long time. It's my go-to race attire, and I wear it, and I love it, especially their Blakeney running shorts, V2 now that they're out, with a gazillion pockets. But no, I followed them for a lot of reasons that really matter when you're thinking of a brand that you not only want to rep on your run, but also recommend to others. And that's why I'm here recommending it to you, because my favorite thing about Backline is that they're super intentional with their product design. They think about athletes across the size spectrum. They care about the input of the community, and the list goes on. They celebrate you for being enough if you just keep at it. So check them out at Backline Running on Instagram, BAKLINE running on Instagram, and check them out at backline.com. You might even see yours truly on their feed once or twice. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Allie G Show for track 31. Today, I am joined by Scott Korf, Stuff We Love podcast host, fellow music lover, a very, very good friend, an athlete, and all things in between. Scott and I had an awesome conversation about his fitness journey, how he keeps going when motivation is low or life gets in the way. We talked about so much music, concerts, albums, everything along those lines. One of my favorite topics, of course, and so much more. And I cannot wait for you all to hear it. All right. I am sitting here today with Scott Korf. Scott, welcome to the Allie G Show. Thanks for being on here.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Scott is, for those that don't know or haven't listened, Scott is the host of the Stuff We Love podcast. And he has me on all the time to talk all things music and stuff we love, like Peloton and working out and music at concerts and all the fun things. So
Absolutely.
If you haven't listened, give it a listen. But Scott, I will let you tell the listeners a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, where you're from, if you want to share anything. It's your time to shine.
Thank you. So I'm Scott Korf, as Alex mentioned. I'm host of Stuff We Love podcast. On the Stuff We Love podcast, we talk about everything from music to movies to the theme parks. We're big fans of Disney World and Universal Orlando. We talk about sports. We are getting ready to come back from our fairly long break. We have our first episode of the new season being recorded later this week. And Alex, I know you're going to be on a bunch of episodes this season, so We're excited for that. I'm from New Jersey. I'm a lawyer. But that's the stuff I do on the side, other than Stuff We Love.
That's stuff we don't love. No, I'm just kidding.
Other than Peloton. I enjoy Peloton, as Alex mentioned. I look forward to talking about my Peloton experience tonight. And that gives you a broad overview.
I love it. We have a lot to talk about. Scott and I are always texting and sometimes calling when we get in the mix with his brother Neil about recent concerts and songs and albums and things. But Scott, before we jump into music talk, I would love for you to share a little bit about your fitness journey. I guess let's start with how you started. Was it like a personal decision, mental health decision, just something else? How did you get into fitness?
So right now I'm in my mid-40s. And I remember many years ago, this maybe goes back to when I was in college, periodically working out, but never pursuing what I would call a formal program. So it was just, treadmill on occasion, maybe some weights on occasion, kind of dabbled with some personal trainers over the years, but nothing really stuck. And, my weight kind of fluctuated on and off. I did put on, as they say, the freshman 15, not from alcohol, but from food, because when you go to college, the food is not exactly the healthiest. And then what happened is somewhere along the way, I put on a lot of weight. And there were some tests that were being done where they determined I was at higher risk for some things. So I needed at that point to drastically change my approach to fitness and to eating, and dropped a lot of weight a couple of years ago. And that was done through a combination of dieting and Peloton. I give Peloton a lot of credit for that. And my fitness journey on Peloton at that point mainly consisted of cycling. I had the bike, maybe some strength, but it wasn't until later on that I got the weight set that Peloton sells, which I really enjoy using now. Strength training is a key part of my workout routine. And then It's like many people kind of fall off the wagon, get back on the wagon. And, I fluctuated a little bit over the past few years. And so right now I'm at a point where I really got to take steps again to try to get the weight down. That's where I'm at now in my fitness journey. And it is a journey. I mean, that's something that I told myself over the years when I would find myself struggling, that
Yeah.
fitness is a journey and that you really shouldn't be harsh on yourself. That's something that the Peloton instructors emphasize in their own classes. I get motivated by what they say. And it really is true. And you can't kick yourself. Never be hard on yourself, because then that'll demotivate you.
Agreed.
And so right now where I'm at is trying to lose weight. I've really stepped up the power zone training in my cycling workouts. My friend Joe got me into power zone training, and I really like that. It's challenging in ways that other intense courses on Peloton are not. If anything, I find, this is me personally speaking, not everyone may agree with this, but I find that I have more intense workouts with power zone classes versus HIIT classes. I just find that I sweat more.
Really?
Yeah, not the endurance, even though
Interesting.
endurance is great, but the traditional power zone. Like today, I did one with Dennis, and you were in zone 5 for, I think it was 8 to 10 minutes of the class, and that is tough. You feel
Yeah.
that.
I mean, you actually are like sweating a ton because it's
Mm-hmm.
consistent and you're not stopping, right? I mean,
You're
it's
not
such a great way
stopping.
to build endurance. But am I wrong in saying that were you anti power zone previously, or were you just not? Am I wrong in saying that?
I was not
You're allowed to be
anti-power
anti
zone, but
power zone.
I never had taken an FTP class, and I
Yeah, I
did
hate that. Yeah.
eventually. It was something that I wasn't really interested in doing, because I thought to
Hmm.
myself, okay, if I want the best on Peloton, the toughest classes, it's got to be HIIT or Tabata, both of which I enjoy immensely. But
Hmm.
I thought to myself, Joe keeps raving about Power Zone. I really should give it a chance. And I like the instructors associated with Power Zone, like Dennis and Matt, Hannah,
Hmm.
Sam. So I said, you know what,
Hmm.
I'll give it a go. And I do enjoy it. So that's now maybe what I do more than any other type of cycling classes.
I love that. And is it I mean, for somebody who was strictly on the bike for a long time as well, as you know, I had never done I've never done power zone classes. I think I used to take the FTP tests to see like where I was at, like as a benchmark, but I can't say that
Mhm.
I've ever followed um like a power zone program. But do you feel like it provides a little bit more structure too in your routine?
I do. I think that combination of Power Zone endurance and
Hmm.
regular Power Zone is a very good balancing act.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
That makes
think that
sense.
provides the structure. And if you mix it up with a HIIT class every now and then, or a regular class, even a low impact, which will be a
Hmm.
little bit easier on your legs, I think it provides for a steady program. Plus, I now use the tread. And that's something else
Hmm.
that's changed in my fitness journey from years ago. I have the Peloton tread, enjoy it very much. I like the hit run classes on there. I never was a
Hmm.
runner, although you have immensely inspired me with that. You are just remarkable with your running.
Oh, thank you. I brought Scott to the dark side.
No, it's really something to see and be motivated by. And so I like Power Zone. I like not Power Zone, Power Walk, excuse me, on the tread.
Hmm.
And I like the hit runs and traditional walk runs, those types of things. And so if you do that combined with the Power Zones, it does, I think, lead to a very good structure, especially if you bring in strength training.
Yes, I will totally agree with that. And I think, it's funny. I was thinking about this earlier today as I was dying during a speed workout, um, self-inflicted speed workout. And I had to stop so many times. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I was just like, it was, those days where you just don't have it. Like I just didn't have it today. I did
Sure.
like, I had like 3 minutes at my threshold pace, which is pretty fast. And I haven't run that fast in a while because I was just training for the ultra. So it's a very different stride, very different speed. And I was thinking to myself, like, I've done this before. Like, why can't I do it today? And I was feeling so down about it. And then I was thinking about how I truly felt like my endurance was at its peak when I was going on the bike and on the tread and I was doing strength. Because right
Hmm.
now, I really haven't had, again, ultra training took up so much of my time. So it really some days came down to like, okay, what's more important? Like running for the 4 hours to get the mileage and then trying to squeeze in strength at some point and running out of time and then not doing strength and then, or like trying to fix my whole schedule to factor in like cross training days. But I really do think that having all three of them together goes
Mm.
such a long way with endurance, especially the bike. It's so different, and people don't think about it that way, where it's like you just think you're hopping on for 45 minutes of low impact, but it goes a really, really long way. So it's
Absolutely. So,
nice to hear from you.
what you speak of when you talk about the combination of bike, tread, and strength, you're really working out different body parts. So, you're getting that full and
Yeah.
complete picture, I would imagine. Even the low impact
Hmm.
rides on the bike are remarkable. You work up a sweat, especially if you do it for a longer time, like 30 or 45 minutes, even a 60-minute low impact. It's
Yeah.
accessible. It's tough, but accessible, which is
Hmm.
why I like those classes. So for me, one of the things I'm particularly interested to see at this point on my fitness journey is now that I've incorporated more power zone classes into the mix, what that does to my weight.
Hmm.
And I'm very curious to see if it'll have a beneficial impact. One of the things, we talk about my fitness journey. One of the things that I would emphasize has been conveyed to me by physicians, so I take it seriously, is the idea that regardless of weight and where you're at on the scale,
Hmm.
just working out provides so many benefits, both in the short term and the long term.
Yeah.
And it can be demotivating to be on there a lot, working out on the bike or the tread and not drop the weight. But one thing I have to keep in mind for myself, and I need to remind myself to do this, and what I would encourage your listeners to think about, is you're doing great things for your bones, for your muscles, for your longevity as you
Hmm.
age, for your numbers on the blood work. All of that is going to benefit from working out regardless of your weight. And of course, you want the weight to be, showing results. But again, it goes to not being hard on yourself and, keep in mind that there's benefits other than what shows on the scale.
Yeah. No, and I love that, Scott, and thank you for sharing that, because I think two important things to note there is one, that like progress is not linear. So you're not going to see results immediately, and you're not going to see the same results as somebody else who might be doing the same exact thing, right? Because so much more goes into it. And the second thing is that and I think when we talk about it, this is what I admire about you and your fitness journey so much, is that, you say you have to keep reminding yourself, but I think it's really easy to fall into a pattern of like, oh, I'm not going to do something today because I'm busy, or like, you have a lot of things going on. You have you work a lot. I work a lot. Everybody works a lot, but it's like
Sure.
you find a way to stay motivated, and you also motivate others. So do you
Thank
have
you.
like a workout where of course, it's true. We talk about this all the time. I really mean it. Because you're right. It's not, you might not see results right away, but you're doing so much good for your body. And I think people get so discouraged by not seeing results right away. And I think for somebody like you who, you say like the weight might not be coming off as I'm doing all these things, but in the long run, you might drop a ton of weight if that's your goal. You might build a lot of muscle, right? And there are different goals for everybody. But is there like one specific class or instructor that you gravitate toward when your motivation is like super low?
Couple of things in response to what you said. I will answer your question, of course. I'm not like a politician trying to now change the subject, but
Change the subject.
I'll just say that I'm not perfect either. There are some days where I don't work out, and
Hmm.
that's okay too. That's okay too. It's just a matter of overall being consistent. In terms of an instructor or workout that gets me back on track, there's nothing in particular, but what I will say I've experienced, including recently, because I was doing a lot of traveling this summer and I was not working out as much as I intended. And it took a
Hmm.
little bit of effort for me to get back into the swing of things, is that all you need is that one workout, meaning you get up in the morning or whenever you work out, you do the workout, you work up that sweat, you feel proud to have done that. Nobody,
Hmm.
I think one of the instructors said this, I don't remember who it was, but you never regret having done a workout.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so when you work up that sweat and you think about what you did, it makes you want to get back and do something else the next day. So
Hmm.
again, not an instructor, not even a particular class, just the concept of working out.
Hmm.
And then also, what I would say, again, speaking for myself, but for others as well, is that it's not just the working out part, it's the dieting and all that. And that's an area where I struggle immensely. I do.
It's
Um,
tough.
it's
It's tough when
tough.
you're on the move too, and traveling and doing things, and you know, it's tough.
I will say that in Disney World and Universal on this most recent August trip, I lost some weight, even though I was eating like
Really?
garbage. It's just the
Because
walking
you're
you do in the
walking
heat.
so much.
Yes, having to be
Yeah.
carried through the
Yeah.
park. But it's true that you do have to generally watch what you eat. But I find that any diet that requires you to just cut everything out entirely, like no carbs, no ice cream, no,
Hmm.
it's not going to last. Not for me,
Hmm.
and from others that have tried that. I find that that doesn't work over the long term.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up because I was doing this thing where I was like, "Oh, no more sweet treats," like as a joke, because I went crazy this summer. I mean, I ran a ton and like not that it even matters, but I'm like, "No more sweet treats," because mentally I just feel like crap about eating them, even though it's like doesn't even matter. And I'm like, if somebody restricted everything I had to eat like I was trying to do to myself, I'd be miserable, but also like
Yes,
it would never last because it's like another thing you have to remember to like not do or another thing that it's like just constantly going in your head.
yes,
Um but it's true. And I hate when people are like, "Oh, abs are made in the kitchen." And I'm like,
right.
Stop. Like
What,
just
what,
stop."
here's my general approach now. Now that we're basically getting into fall, holiday
Mhm.
season coming up and all that, is just to overall be mindful what I put in my body. Know that I'm
Yeah.
not going to be perfect, but just be mindful. And
Yeah.
I hope that that combined with the working out will yield some results. But regardless, I'm happy to be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. No, I love that. Is there a workout or a class that you like to take? I'm gonna say Joe because I know you're taking the workouts with Joe.
A lot of the time, yes.
What do you guys like to do when you work out together? What types of classes?
Power Zone has become
Every
a big
time?
one
Okay.
for us. And besides Power Zone, we like, you know, we do Friday morning workouts. He'll get up at 5:45. I'll do the same, and we'll do it simultaneously. And usually it involves warm up and eventually cool down and a stretch. That's a key component, I think, of working out that benefits us.
Yeah.
And
You're better than me for that.
oh, please,
Because I
you're
don't
running 20
stretch.
miles a day. You know, this is
Yeah.
the but Power Zone and also hit or Tabata. We like the
Hmm.
interval training. We find that it's very beneficial. And what
Yeah.
we'll sometimes do is do, let's say, 20-minute Tabata, 10-minute low impact, or 20-20,
Oh,
something
you
like that.
pair them. I like
Sometimes,
that.
sometimes,
That's
but
good.
lately it's really been a Power Zone thing.
A good stack. I love that. What about
Good
strength?
stuff.
Are you like a full body strength a few times a week, or do you like to break them down?
So I'll tell you where I'm at right now. Right
Hmm.
now, what I'm trying, I mainly do upper body. Upper body is my
Hmm.
main focus.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to get in a routine of on the days I'm not doing cardio, 30-minute upper body workouts. So I did one the
Yeah.
other day with Katie. I found it to be great. I have
Hmm.
one scheduled for tomorrow with Callie on my stack. And I find those to be good. And something that I have learned through the advice of my brother Neil and you and other friends is that you don't need to go heavier, the heaviest weights imaginable. You can
Hmm.
have a good workout even with the lighter weights. So I'll give you an
Yep.
example of what I mean. For me, on the upper body strength workouts, I often use 20-pound weights as my basic standard for
Hmm.
biceps, um, overhead presses, that type of stuff. I've recently overall started using 15-pound weights
Hmm.
more often. And I
Yeah.
find that my arms are just as tired. And if anything, this is what Katie emphasized in her class, that when you're using lighter weights, you're able to go slow, put more emphasis on the slow motion, and you build
Hmm.
up that time under tension, and you really feel that.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
what I do personally, this is just a Scott thing. This is maybe silly to others. Is once I'm done with the Peloton class workout, I will go to a heavier weight, usually like a 25-pound weight, and do
Hmm.
anywhere from 12 to 24 biceps on each arm in sets of 12.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because
I
biceps
like
are
that
important
just
to me.
as like a standard.
I
Yeah.
just like the biceps. You know, it's for my fans out there. And
For the fans.
no, I do like it, and I find it to be
Yeah.
like a good icing on the cake thing. And then I top it off with a protein shake.
Love that. That's a good routine. And also backtracking for a second, can we just talk about Katie? Her strength
Mm,
classes are quickly becoming some of my favorites. Her full body classes are amazing. Her core kills me in a good
yeah.
way. Like I want to feel like a little bit sore because it, to your point from before, it like kind of makes me feel like I did something. Like if I feel a little sore, I'm
Well,
fatigued. But,
she's a
and then I went to a
remarkable
spin.
instructor.
She is. She is. I mean, she's she's like the perfect amount of chatty. She makes funny jokes. She has good music. She talks about her
Hmm.
cat. It's just funny. She's just funny, and it kind of like the time kind of flies, which is why I
She
like it.
she also has this amazing ability to remember the names of the participants in her classes.
Yes. Yes, I'm like learning these little things because I'm so late to the Katie game. I'm sorry, Katie. Not that she's listening to this, but I'm sorry.
I've worked
But
with
now
people for
I've
20 years. I don't even know their names. You know, she's teaching them for
I
five
meet
minutes.
someone 5 seconds ago and I don't remember their name. It's horrible. I'm the
Yeah.
worst with names. Um, no, I love it. And then to your point again, it's like I went to a spin class on Friday. My first time at a Soul Cycle. Sorry, Peloton.
Oh.
My first time at a Soul Cycle. I went with Mariana, and there was a section where we did the like those like 2 pound weights.
Hmm.
And I literally could not move my arms the
Oh
next day.
yeah.
I was like, this is so pathetic. In my head, I'm like, this is so pathetic. Even though it's not. But
It's not
to your
pathetic.
point, you're doing so much work with like a little weight and you're using that like resistance and you're
Hmm.
doing the pulses and all of that with 2 light weights. I thought my arms were gonna fall off.
No, so the equivalent in a Peloton world would be the arms and light weights. That's where really where
Hmm.
those weights are used those in those classes, and you
Yeah.
feel it. You
Yeah.
really feel it.
You really feel it a
Some are
lot.
easier than others. I mean, I'll do biceps with those, and I feel a workout, but it's not tiring. But when you do like the French door, that type
Hmm.
thing, or overhead
Yeah.
press with those, you feel that.
Kills. Yeah. It's crazy. Um, I want to touch on one thing and then I would love to move on to music because we have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
So when you had said like you don't you take days off and you take rest days and things like that, but like if you're really not feeling motivated to do a workout, like are you the type that's going to put pressure on yourself and be like, oh, I have to do double the next day? Or are you just like, no, I'm going to take it as it is, like this is a day that I just don't want to do it, and you're not going to force yourself? Because I find when I force myself, I kind of have like a love hate relationship with it. Do you know what I mean? Like there were days where I was like, I just don't have a run in me. I'm going to do 30 minutes of endurance running or whatever. I mean, I haven't gone on the bike in a while, but I'll just run for 30 minutes and be like, let's see how I feel. And then I
Hmm.
kind of progress from there. But what's your
So
take on that?
it's a very interesting question, and it's timely because just the other day, as I was starting to get back into the swing of things, I said, I'm not going to go crazy hardcore. I want to ease my way
Hmm.
back into this. So my personal attitude is don't do double the workout. Do what you do. Just do something,
Hmm.
and that will
Yeah.
benefit you. That'll
Yeah.
help you get in the swing of things. The I find that if you push yourself too hard, it'll actually maybe turn you off from continuing the workout course. Because let's face it, we're human,
Hmm.
and there are days you wake up and you just don't feel like doing anything. And it's going to be a lot
Hmm.
harder for you to get back into the swing of things if you're going to be doing double session or something like that. And along
Hmm.
those lines, Peloton, of course, they give you that check mark when you do something on a day,
I
and
know.
it's addictive. You like getting that check
It
mark.
is.
I mean, I think I'm not
Yeah.
alone when I tell you that I often like to click view workout after the workout is done so I could see it on that list. It's very rewarding. I'm sure a lot of your listeners do the same
Yeah.
thing. But it used
100%.
to be that I would want to check mark every day. And then
Hmm.
somehow, maybe when I was on a vacation, I don't recall, but I missed a day. And I thought that
Hmm.
would be the end of it. But it actually was kind of freeing. It's like, okay, I missed a
Yeah.
day and it's not the end of the world. And I'm
Hmm.
still working out. So I no longer go for the check mark every day. I just, again, like the food thing and being mindful of what you put in your body with the workout stuff, it's being mindful of just trying to lead a more fitness focused existence.
Right. Like no pressure. I'm so
No
with you on
pressure.
the blue dot though. I used to want my blue dot every day.
Yeah.
And then I lost it one day. Like I think it was the holidays or something. And I was like, well, I'm just not doing anything. And then the one time this year, I was like, oh, I'll try to keep it up again because I thought it would be fun. The one time this year that I missed my blue dot, can you guess what day it was?
Okay. So we're in September now. Your
Hmm.
birthday?
No. It was the day I ran the ultra. Can you imagine? I ran
So
67 miles and I missed my stupid streak
that's
because I didn't want my phone to die. So I
that's a
ruined my
cruel
streak,
joke. That
which is hilarious.
that's
Yeah.
unbelievable. That's great though.
It was crazy. But I think to your point about that, it works. Like those things work. I love when um I used to be way more into, admittedly, I used to be way more into the challenges on Peloton and the things like that. And I think when I found like a different niche in running, I'm like, well, I'm not really following the classes a lot, so I'm just taking them for fun. And then I kind of developed this new relationship with Peloton and the classes. Like I love taking it because I love hearing people talk and I love different playlists and all of that. Um, but I became more obsessed with the challenges lately than I have been in a long time. And it's kind of been nice to see like, oh, I ran more miles this month than last month and
Hmm.
all of that. And I really do think there's a motivational component to that. Like there's a new
It's fun.
challenge, I think, for climbing or something like elevation. Um, and I've been working
Yeah, I
on
think
getting
that was
that
a
one
summer
because I'm like,
challenge.
yeah, like I love doing the hikes and things
Right.
like that. It also forced me to do something different or run at an incline or I don't know if you get any elevation points from the bike,
I
but
don't think
yeah,
you
I
do. I
don't know.
think
I
it's a
just really
tread
like
thing.
it. Yeah, it's tread and yeah. But I
I'm
really,
also
really
in.
like it.
I'm in some fitness groups on Peloton. My friend Paul has a group for
Oh,
Disney
really?
fans, Peloton Disney fans, and I'm in there. And honestly, I thought I was doing pretty well. Then I saw I was next to last place, and I thought to myself, "Well, what is this? This is I'm doing." Well. So I kind of just tried. I just to me, it's a fun thing.
Yeah. And since you mentioned Disney, are you like do you have any desire to do any of the Disney runs or walks or anything they put on?
So the answer is no. I could give you
I respect that.
a definitive no on that. And it's not because I'm not a marathon runner and I've never done it. It
Mhm.
just is something that doesn't interest me. It really doesn't interest me. I know that when you, first off, the events, from what I understand, are very hard to get into. They fill up very quickly and it's tough to
Mhm.
get a spot. And then when you do get in, you need to get up immensely early. I've seen people get up as early as 2:33 in the morning to get
Yeah,
there
I
because it's
mean,
before the park's open to the public. And I just don't really feel like making the effort to do
it's
that.
a
I'd
lot.
rather do the bike in my basement than do a
Yeah.
Disney marathon,
And then go to Disney for fun.
than go to Disney for fun. There's one more point I wanted to add, Alex, if I may, something that I wanted to
Please.
mention earlier and I forgot to, is that something else that has helped me is to stop paying attention to the leaderboard. And
Ooh, interesting take. Okay. Tell
now
me more.
I'll tell you why that is. Again, this I may be wrong about this. This is kind of something that I think is true, but I'm not sure. I find that in the more difficult classes, like Power Zone, Hit, Tabata,
Mhm.
it's more difficult for me to be higher up on the leaderboard. Maybe
Mhm.
that's because since they are more difficult, they're getting a higher caliber of rider. I really don't know. So at one point, I was kind of down on myself because I used to consistently get in the top 20 to 30% on the leaderboard, which was great. It made me feel good. But then that
Mhm.
stopped happening. And I thought to myself, stop thinking about this, Scott.
Yeah.
Don't focus
Yeah.
on the leaderboard because I saw the calories I was burning. I was working up great sweats in nearly every single Peloton class. I knew
Mhm.
I was having good workouts. So it didn't matter then that
Mhm.
I was not at the top of the leaderboard, or not that I was ever at the top, but never in the top 20% anymore, something like that. Because
Right.
so what? I'm still having a good workout. Stop paying
Mhm.
attention to the leaderboard. And also, I have a feeling a lot of people on the leaderboard are blatantly disregarding what the instructors say.
Oh,
You know,
100%.
they're increasing the resistance, they're doing different cadences, all of that.
Mhm. Yeah, I am so with you on that. I'm not really like a leaderboard person unless somebody's on there that I like enjoy working out with. Like somebody that I actually know. Like I follow a
Hmm.
bunch of people on Peloton, but the people that I actually know, if you were on the leaderboard, Joe, Neil, anyone obviously that I know personally, I'll like leave it open because it's fun to high five. But other than that, I have to say I've been hiding it because during the live classes, I'll for most of the runs that I do at nighttime, I'll be pretty up there on the leaderboard. And it's not even a humble brag. It's just like I'm running at my pace. Like that's what
Hmm.
it is, truly. Like, and I'm typically doing those at an easy pace. Like I never leave speed workouts for nighttime because I'm never going to do them. Um, but I'll click on like I'll be second or third and I'll click on like one and two and the heart rate will be like red because they're wearing a heart rate monitor. They'll be at like 15% incline and they're running at like an 8 mile per hour pace. And I'm like, okay, first of all, none of those are the cues. And you've been like that for like 15 minutes. I'm like, are you okay? Like your heart rate's in the red. It shouldn't be that way. But is it even obviously it's effective in some way, but it's like, are you doing yourself any favors? Because I feel like you're just burning yourself out at that point to be number one on the leaderboard.
I absolutely agree with you on that. I trust the instructors to know what's best for my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's times they're going to push me, and there's times they're going to bring me back to ground level. It's like in
Mm-hmm.
Power Zone. I know that, like on the ride today, I was in level 5 for a bunch of minutes, and I was also at level 1. I
Mm-hmm.
trust them. So to me, follow their guidance, and you
Mm-hmm.
will have a great workout and do something that's good for your body that won't, how should I say this? I would think you have less of a risk of injury if you follow their
Yeah.
guidance versus push yourself in a crazy way.
Agreed. I love that. One last question. Are you on not for the whole pod, obviously we have lots to talk about on the music front, but in terms of fitness, are you like a morning workout person or a night workout person? Because you've mentioned both, and tonight you were working out later. I cannot do it. I tried for like the last 2 weeks to become a night runner, and
Yeah.
I become like a pumpkin after 6 p.m.
I'm working out as we're doing this podcast. You don't see
I
it.
know, imagine.
I'm on the bike.
That'd
I'm
be
watching.
so awesome if you were spinning on the bike right now.
That'd be amazing. That'd be a first. First on the Allie G show.
First on the Allie G show.
So I am almost 99% of the time a morning workout person. I like getting up. I like getting it done. I find that it's a good kickstart to my day. And I feel completely satisfied with a good morning workout. That being said, today, for example, I didn't get up when I intended to. The alarm, I just slept right through it. And then I thought to myself, I still want to have that workout today. And I made a point of doing it later on in the day. So there was a time in my life that I belonged to a gym and I would go at night. And I liked it. You know, you get into a rhythm of what you're used to. And I kind of like being there at night. It wasn't as busy. There was a camaraderie among the people there and all that. But overall, I'm a morning person. I find that it's easier to do it before you go to work, before you have your traditional day, versus at the end of the day, maybe all you want to do is watch a game, watch a movie, read, and then you don't feel like going to the gym. That's a very personal, you know, very subjective thing. People have their own takes on it, but that's definitely my take.
No, I'm with you on that. And is there ever a time now where you miss the gym now that you have the tread and the bike and all these weights?
Yes, I will say that there is. And I periodically think about joining a gym. I think about it pretty frequently. And it's hard for me to justify at this point in time because I'm spending money for Peloton. I have so much equipment in my house that I think the reason I would belong to a gym is not necessarily for the people because, you know, I'm married now. Maybe if I was single, I'd feel a little differently. You know, let's face it, I walk around the gym, everybody stops and stares. It's not fair to the other people working out. It's a distraction. But
it's the biceps.
It's a biceps, no. But the truth is that the reason to go to the gym would be to have a more advanced strength training program. Because what I have here in my house are, the 5-pound weights to the 35-pound weights. Everything Peloton sells by way of weights I have in my house. But I don't have machines. So that to me would be the reason to go to the gym. And some of the gyms interest me with their, the way it looks, the appearance, there's an atmosphere in the gym, but it's not something I'm going to get to anytime soon.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. I think it would just be, I've been in and out of Lifetime for a while now. I've like joined and then I get upset that I'm spending a lot of money and I'm like not going every day and whatever. And then I'll like freeze my account and then I'll go back in. And every time I go back in, it's just for elevated strength and the sauna. And I'm like, okay, this is silly. Like, why am I spending this kind of money to go, super early in the morning, like a zombie? Everybody's in zombie mode at the gym.
Right.
Just to like lift different weights or, have like a weight rack or something, I don't know, but I'm with you on that. Sometimes I do miss it though. I kind of love like sitting in the sauna at the gym when nobody's in there. It's
and
just
Lifetime's
me.
a beautiful gym. So when you walk in, it's like you're arriving at a resort.
It's like a resort. Yeah. It's like I would sleep there. And now there are like offices. You can take like office space
in Lifetime
and work. Yeah. And work there. And
it's
I'm like,
interesting.
Okay, they want you to stay there all day. There's like a salon.
Right.
Not that I would ever go there, but like, I'm not using all the amenities. So what's the point?
I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's new. I just learned it last time I went.
Yeah.
They were renovating, but yeah, no, I'm just curious because I think a lot of people are either super pro gym and anti working out at home, or the opposite, or there's like a fine line in the middle?
I like the convenience of Peloton. I like the idea of just
Mm-hmm.
going downstairs and it's right there versus having to get in the car. Anything that provides an extra step to do when it comes to working out could be a demotivating factor.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. I feel that. I feel that.
Controversial
Except I
statement.
drive like I drive yeah, I mean I drive like an hour to go on my long run to
That's
the
true.
city.
I'm saying
But
that to the wrong person, that
but there are some days where I'm like I would rather just run in my pajamas right now, which I've done.
sure.
So, um all right. I have been waiting for this section of the pod.
Okay.
Should we start with concerts?
Yeah.
Have you
You want
seen
to talk concerts?
concerts?
So,
Let's talk concerts.
yeah, absolutely. Which one?
Okay, because I know which one of the 30 that one or both of us have been to. Um, I'll let you go first.
Okay.
Who have you seen recently? And give me your favorite.
Oh, I will start with the most recent concert that I attended, which was a couple of weeks ago. I went to see the Weeknd in Miami. I was in Miami, saw him at Hard
Hmm.
Rock Stadium. It was the After Hours Till Dawn tour. It
Amazing.
was a fantastic show. This was the second time I've seen the Weeknd in concert. The third time I've seen him overall at the Taylor Swift 1989 World Tour show I was at. He came on as a special guest.
That's amazing.
So that was
That's
very cool. But this was
amazing.
the second purely Weeknd concert that I saw. And he puts on a great show. It's the lighting is amazing. It's just a
Hmm.
fascinating show to see from a lighting perspective. And he holds the audience in the palm of his hands. You're kind of captivated by his vocals as well as by the stuff happening around him on the stage. It was similar
Hmm.
in some respects to the After Hours tour that I saw a couple of years ago. Similar concepts and characters, but this tour in particular featured tracks off his most recent album.
Hmm.
I loved it, and it was cool. I never had been to a concert at Hard Rock Stadium. I'd been to been to concerts in Florida. I saw Bad Bunny in Tampa, but this was my first time at that stadium, and it was very cool. I enjoyed being there.
Oh, that's awesome. Is that where they do like the Formula One
That's where they
race
do
and where the
Formula
Dolphins
One.
play?
The
Is that where
Dolphins
the
play
Dolphins
there. The
play?
Miami Hurricanes football team play there. Yeah, it's a
That's really
really
cool.
cool stadium.
That's really cool. I love it. And I feel like every TikTok I've seen of that show, he like is in character of some
Hmm.
sort. Does
Yes,
he like acts a little bit, right?
I think so.
Like
Yes,
and
he
does
wears
stuff. I feel
masks
like
at
I'm
times.
picturing Super Bowl. Okay, yeah. I was picturing like the Super Bowl performance, like but like to the max at like his actual tour.
That's very true. And he also kind of has this tie into horror themes. I mean, a couple
Mm-hmm.
of years ago at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, they had a weekend house, which was really
Mm-hmm.
cool. A lot of the imagery associated with his concerts is horror esque, and it
Mm-hmm.
shows in the performance. It's
That's
something that if
really
you're a fan of
cool.
horror movies, I think you could appreciate.
Yeah. It's you and Neil.
That's
Getting me
us.
into all
Yeah,
these horror movies.
that's right.
By the
It
way, I
was
feel like
great
we
though.
should go to Halloween Horror Nights at some point all
Listen,
together.
I go every year. You're more than welcome to join us anytime.
Where I might have to this year.
You'd have a
I
great.
need to
You would
bite the
love it.
bullet.
You would love it.
I know. I talk about it with Neil every year. I'm like, I just need to bite the bullet. All right, what did you think of Jonas?
So before I tell you what I thought of Jonas, I actually want to ask you first, since I just talked about Weekend, but I want to give
Okay,
our
let's.
listeners, if I may, a little bit of background here.
Mhm.
So Alex and I are big fans of the Jonas Brothers,
Yeah,
and
we are.
before this most recent show, which was the opening night of their world tour at MetLife Stadium, I got a phone call that Alex was parked not too far from me.
Yeah.
So went over, met up with her and Kate and her friends before the show, and it was great. It was great to be with you,
Hmm.
hanging out in the parking lot before a show.
Made the whole day,
Yes,
honestly. Knowing that I was going to
yes.
see you guys, I loved that moment. That's why going to concerts is so fun
I'll never
because
forget it.
you get.
You never
I
forget
will
those
never
things.
forget it. I will never forget that.
I think the shows, in all honesty, before we talk about Jonas, I think about concerts I've attended decades
Hmm.
ago, literally, and there are moments that I can vividly picture.
Hmm.
Just snapshots of events that happen on stage and off stage at those shows, and you
Do
don't
you
forget
have
them.
some that you could share?
Yes, I'll give you a couple. I remember going to see. I don't know why this is the first one that popped into my mind, but Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers at Meriwether Post Pavilion in Maryland. This is when I was a student at
Wow.
University of Maryland. And that arena, it wasn't an arena, it was an outdoor venue. It
Hmm.
was kind of like PNC Bank Art Center in the sense you have lawn and seats. I was on the lawn,
Hmm.
and there had been immense rain. And I remember people just sliding down the lawn
Yep.
purposely and not purposely. And I just
Yep.
remember being so nervous walking out that I was going to fall on my butt and make a fool of
Yeah.
myself. So that's one memory. Another memory I have is the first time I saw Paul McCartney in concert was also when I was a student. He was playing in Washington, D.C. at what was then the MCI Center. That's what it was called.
Hmm.
And I had known that fans could see Paul arrive at the arena by waiting where his car would pull in. So I got there early. And let's face it, I was not going to class that day. And
Obviously.
I remember there was a guy on a saxophone playing McCartney music. And then
Mhm.
as Paul's car turned in, some fan jumped in front of me and blocked my view after I had waited there. So
No.
those are two kind of not the best memories, but some great memories. Look, I remember being at a concert. It was John Fogerty and Willie Nelson on the bill. It was a double bill, and
That's
Fogerty
so
brought out
cool.
Bruce Springsteen.
Oh man. What they
Remember seeing
sing?
another Paul McCartney show bringing out Springsteen.
Oh my
Um,
God. It's amazing.
things like that. You just those are the moments that you remember. Do you have any moments like that?
Oof, off the top of my head, you'll appreciate this one because you know my dad. We were seeing Billy Joel. I might have been the Garden. I think it was at the Garden, but I was really young. I must have been like 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm.
And this drunk guy was dancing and singing very loudly, and I thought it was like the funniest thing. And I was like dancing. Obviously, I like love. I mean, obviously, I still love Billy, but I loved Billy Joel um, when I was a kid. Again, still do. And this drunk guy came up to me and brought me to the pit. I literally still have the all access pass hanging in my room because it has a little like cool baseball sticker working pass. He must have
Mm-hmm.
been doing like a stadium tour or something like that. Um, and yeah, this drunk guy took me down to the pit, and surprisingly, my dad was like, "Yeah, whatever, go for it." And he handed me the drumsticks
Wow.
from yeah, because Liberty was playing with him at the time,
Yeah,
and he handed me Liberty's drumsticks, and I just like went back up to my seat after like 2 songs. It was great.
that's amazing.
Um, it was crazy. It was crazy. But it's so weird because I was so young. Like I probably shouldn't remember, but like it's so clear in my
Sure.
head. The other one wasn't like a formal concert, but for the New Jersey Hall of Fame when Bruce was I don't know if he must have been inducted that year, or I don't know, it was the year that it was like Bruce, Bon Jovi, one of the early years where like all the big guys were inducted. Um, and I was standing side stage and I didn't know that he was about to come on and sing. And he came on to sing Glory Days. And I was just standing at side stage with Kate, and I was like, what's happening? Bruce Springsteen is right there, like 10 feet away.
Amazing.
So we got to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I'll share one more. I think when the Foo Fighters opened the Garden after COVID. Like
Oh,
I
that's a
just
good one.
remember, and I'm like typically I think I don't want to say jaded because it's not a positive word, but when you work in music, it's like very hard for me to like cry at it when like a lot of times when I take people to shows, they're very moved by it, and I have such a respect for that. Like I respect the heck out of that if it moves you so much and you like shed tears or you like whatever and they're like happy tears. And I think that was like one of the first concerts where I was like actually crying because I was like,
Yeah,
this is insane. It's because you didn't think, and I think working in it also had that kind of impact where I was like, oh, I really don't know when this is coming back. Like
sure.
I was like temporarily furloughed from my job, and you're like, oh my God, am I going to ever work in music again? And you have all these thoughts. And then when we saw the Foo Fighters there, I'm like, this is special.
A good band to have as you return to the concert going scene.
Yeah,
Can I
crazy.
can I give you two more that just came to mind as we were talking?
Give me all of them.
Well, I'll give you two that come to mind. One was Neil, Joe, and I went to see Neil Diamond in concert at Madison Square Garden, and we got a
Hmm.
free seat upgrade just by chance as we arrived. And we ended up on the DVD from that concert. And then I met Neil Diamond not long after that and told him that we were on
What?
his DVD.
Wait, that's so cool. What was his response?
He asked me what song we were on, like what song he was playing we were on, and I truly didn't remember, which is the
Yeah.
truth. But it was still a great memory. And then another memory I have, maybe the best concert I've ever been to. Before the Black Parade came out, I saw My Chemical Romance at Maxwell's in Hoboken, which is now closed, but
Wow.
at the time was a bar that had a
Yeah.
small room in the back. When I say small room, there are living rooms that
Mhm.
are like that. That's how intimate the show was. And My Chemical
Wow.
Romance came out. I remember being online, and there were people there from all over the world attending the show. And I got
It's
to see them in
unreal.
that intimate venue. My hearing was shot for days. And I
Yeah.
ended up on the DVD of that show, which also is available on Apple Music now. The concert of
What?
that show. Yeah.
Wait, I have to like go find you now.
I got
Find
it.
all
I'm in it
these.
for like a quick split second,
Hmm.
but I'll find it again and let you know where it is.
Yeah, please. I'll share with everyone too. That'd be great. No, I love that. Yeah, I love that so
And
much.
all that leads
I
now. Now, please tell me what you thought about the Jonas Brothers concert.
Oh my God. Okay. Also, prefacing this by saying I think Scott might be like the other number one Jonas fan
No, that's
aside
not.
from
No,
me
no.
that I
I,
know. I think you appreciate the deep cuts. You
listen,
appreciate the deep
here's the
cuts.
deal. I'm gonna since you mentioned that, I'll take a moment to say, one of the things when it comes to music, this is the way I feel. You should never pigeonhole yourself. Expose yourself to as much music as possible.
Yeah. Agreed.
Beatles are
Agreed.
my number one band, and what the Beatles did over the course of their career, even going back to when they were kids, they immersed themselves in so many different genres of music
Hmm.
that I find the more you listen to and open yourself up to enjoying, the more enhanced your life will be. So,
So
with the
true.
Jonas Brothers, like I said earlier in the show, I'm a guy in my 40s. You don't find a lot of guys in their 40s fans of the Jonas Brothers. Although at this show, Alex, there were a lot of guys there my age. I don't know if you noticed that.
Ton. A
Ton.
ton.
So it's at a
Big
different point in the
audience.
fandom here. But to me, I always thought their music was great. I thought it was melodically really good, lyrically strong. And I wasn't the type of thing where I'd say, oh, this music is popular with teenage girls, so I'm just going to not listen to it. Quite to the contrary, if that's the approach I
Hmm.
would take, then a lot of the
Yeah.
music that people listen to throughout history, like the Beatles and the Beach Boys and, Elvis,
Hmm.
Sinatra, nobody would listen to them. Guys wouldn't listen to them if they said, "Oh, teenage girls like them, and I'm not going to give them a chance." Give them a
Hmm.
chance, and enhance your musical landscape.
It's so true. I mean, and it's kind of the same for me, right? Like I think obviously growing up around it and like Frank Sinatra and all of that kind of forced me to be into different genres and things like that. But like working at Sony, I was listening to Grateful Dead, and what like 17-year-old girl is listening to Grateful Dead unless they're like the daughter of two hippies. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
that's
but you're
true.
just it but it's very true where you're just like, oh, if that's a primarily different audience, why should she be listening? But it's opened my eyes to so much, and then you have like the one-off, like the offshoot artists from these major bands that are creating their own music and having their own sound. And yeah, and I think that's kind of what I admire about the Jonas Brothers too, is like they get such a bad reputation, I feel like, because
Mhm.
everybody's like, oh, they're teeny bopper boy band from Disney Channel, but they really, I think, in a way shaped like my generation's rock pop genre a little bit.
Absolutely
um
true. I think if you think about the bands out there today doing the
mhm,
stuff that they're doing, pop rock, you'd be
mhm.
hard pressed to name a better band.
Agreed.
I
And I'm not just
really,
saying that because I'm a big fan. I agree completely.
and they
Completely.
now have an extensive string of hits, and their deep cuts are also great. And their newest
Mhm.
album, "Greetings from Your Hometown," is a great album. I find that
Great
their
album.
music has evolved over the years. They've improved
Mhm.
as songwriters, their production has improved, and their albums
Mhm.
are now much more cohesive than they ever had been before. They're real
Agreed.
works of art unto themselves.
Agreed. I think honestly the most recent three, after Happiness Begins, the two after Happiness Begins are complete works of art. I love them so much. I think it's to your point, they've evolved in such a different way. And they stay true, I feel like, to themselves, right? Like their old albums will never not be iconic to like people my age because we grew
Mhm.
up with that, so it's always going to stick and you're always going to have those memories. But their new stuff is so different from anything out there, and they all have very distinct voices and parts of the band, which I think is special too. um,
Absolutely. You wouldn't see some of their newer tracks on their earlier albums because they weren't
right.
songwriters like that at that point in
Right.
their careers.
Right.
But anyhow,
And I
thank
think it
you for
was,
saying that I'm a big fan. That you and I are linked
I
that way.
mean, you are a big fan. At least I think you're a big fan. We talk
I've
about
been
it a
faking it
lot.
the whole time.
But no, as Scott said, I got to see him at the Jonas concert at MetLife. It was great. Um, I might have a hot take for you, Scott. So I was saving it for the pod. I
Okay,
might have texted this to you after.
let's hear it.
First half of the show was amazing. They sounded amazing. They always sound amazing. None of this has to do with the way they sound. It more has to do with the set list. First half of the show I thought was amazing. The marshmallow set, way too long. I
Oh,
thought it
interesting. Okay.
completely lost my attention. And none of Marshmallow's great. I think he sounds awesome. He has way more hits than I like remember. So it was a vibe, but I think the 30 to 35-ish minute break was really long. And then coming back for the second half, I wished they had played other songs, but the redeeming factor was Demi Lovato because I
Great to
was
see Demi
living for
Lovato.
that.
She seems to be doing great,
Hmm.
um, personally and as a performer. So it was wonderful to see her on stage. She did well. I completely
Yeah.
agree with almost everything you've just said. I
Mhm.
didn't think the marshmallow set was too long. I thought it was actually just right.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Just, so I didn't have an issue with this with the marshmallow set, but I did think from the Jonas Brothers perspective, the first half was stronger than the second. Um,
Yeah.
I just thought the set list was tighter. It was a more cohesive show in the first half. Now you've
Hmm.
seen them a couple times since then on this tour. Do you find that it's the same thing each time you see them?
It's a tough question. It's like yes, a yes and no answer because the time after that, I saw them in Virginia at one of our amphitheaters, and that was pretty much identical. And they changed the. I don't even remember if they did this at MetLife. Did they take like a guest or like an audience request?
Yes, they did.
They
Didn't they
did,
do that
right?
after they had a gender reveal for the baby? They let the people choose.
Yes, yes. So
Hmm.
they did another gender reveal at Jiffy Lube Live, and they
Oh.
also did a uh, a guest or an audience member request, and that changed. But other than
Hmm.
that, it was pretty much the same. Marshmallow had the same set, so I like
Okay.
went to the bathroom and got drinks and did whatever. I was like, "Oh, don't worry, we don't have to be back for another 45 minutes. It's fine."
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It was only like 30, but still, I was just salty. Um, and then Hershey Park was
Hmm.
the next one I saw after that, and they started changing the opening song.
Okay.
And they opened with Roller Coaster, and
Mm.
I will take credit for manifesting that because I manifested that so hard. I have not heard them play Roller Coaster in the longest time, and all I wanted to hear on this tour was Roller Coaster. So I was so upset that they didn't play it at MetLife, and I was like, I need to hear it,
It's a
please, at
great
Hershey
song.
Park, where the roller coasters are literally behind us. Play Roller Coaster, and they
Fitting.
opened with it. Um, and then Saratoga was completely different
Hmm.
because it was just them. It was them and Boys Like Girls. So no, they took a. Did they take a break? I don't even think they took a break. I think they just went straight through
Right.
for 2 hours. And they played a lot of different songs, like a lot because they had more time. Um, and they played a lot of. They actually played Toothbrush twice. Joe
Oh.
sang. It was weird. He sang it for like his solo set, and then like 3 songs later he starts the DNCE set and he plays Toothbrush again, and everybody's like, what is happening? Like he just sang this song in typical Joe Jonas fashion, sang it twice. So
That's like when
yeah,
Harry Styles didn't Harry Styles do As It Was twice at some of
I
the
think he
shows.
did. He
Yeah,
did at the MSG run, right? Wasn't it?
I think
I
so.
think it's crazy.
But you had a good time. You liked it, the Jonas Brothers show.
Yeah, it's always fun.
It's always fun,
There
right?
because you're never like not gonna know the next song.
Yes.
So it's always, and I feel like since I obviously was a huge fan growing up, it's so fun to experience it with different people. Like,
Yes.
don't get me wrong. Like, I'd let my, like, if I could go with the same people every time, I would go with the same people every time. But it's like, it's so fun when you're like bopping around and you're in different states and it's a new
Yes.
venue, new crowd, um, which I think plays a really important part because the Hershey Park crowd was no shade to Hershey Park. It was so lame. It was
Really?
so like nobody knew because they brought out Hoobastank. Like nobody in the crowd knew
For
Hoobastank.
Neil.
Yeah, for Neil.
Neil
But
loves
like when I
Hoobastank.
tell you nobody was cheering, nobody was singing, I'm like, how do you not know this song? Like I don't understand. And but like on the other end, Hershey Park is where I have like my favorite Jonas memories. That's where like I first started seeing them and I saw
Hmm.
Avril Lavigne open for them there. So I was like really excited to go to that show specifically. And I was like, man, this crowd sucks. Like they're kind of boring. Um,
My wife wanted to go
but
to the
yeah.
Hershey Park show to turn it into like a little vacation.
Oh, you should have gone.
That would have been
I
great.
would have seen you. I would have
They
seen you
get good
there.
shows there, Hershey Park.
They get amazing shows there. It's one of my favorite venues,
Mm.
even though apparently people hate it. I don't know why. It really is one of my favorites.
People
Um,
seem to hate everything. People,
yeah, I mean,
there's always going to be
yeah,
haters for everything.
people do hate everything. It's not me. I love everything. I love seeing the Jonas Brothers 17 times in 2 weeks.
Yeah, of course.
Um, but yeah, what else have you seen?
Earlier this summer, I saw Kendrick Lamar in
That's
concert,
right.
also at MetLife Stadium, which was a spur of the moment show. I was not
Hmm.
planning on going and got my ticket last minute. It was great. It was just surreal because I wasn't planning on going. And then next thing I know, I'm sitting in a pretty decent seat. I got on
Yeah.
StubHub right before the show, and it was a very good show. Kendrick Lamar is one of those rappers that I had not been into when I was younger.
Hmm.
And then when I gave him more of a chance, I saw the real greatness of his music. And so it's
Yeah.
great to see him live at that show. I'm trying to think what else I had seen recently in terms of concerts. There was stuff I wanted to go to but didn't get a chance, like My Chemical Romance. They toured this summer,
Yeah.
and from what I hear, the show was absolutely amazing.
Hmm.
How about you? What else are some of your summer highlights?
Oh my God. I was like waiting all summer for Jonas. I did see Kendrick and SZA. That was great. I went to Philly.
You went to Philly. That's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I didn't go to MetLife. Went to Philly. What else have I seen? I've seen so much. I'm literally about to pull up my Instagram highlight to remind myself what I've seen. I saw Kelsey Ballerini earlier this year.
Hmm.
Love her.
Didn't she come out as a guest for Jonas recently?
Yeah, I'm so salty about it because I was
Yeah, you were
not
not there.
there.
The one
I
show
was
you
not
don't go
there.
to.
The one show I don't go to. I saw Shakira. Shakira was great. Beyonce. I keep
Okay.
forgetting about all these big Maggie Rogers. Rufus Du Sol was really good.
Hmm.
You know who I saw? Gracie Abrams.
Gracie Abrams, where at Radio
She was
City?
amazing.
No, that
No,
was
at
MSG.
MSG.
MSG, yeah.
Yeah, that was insane. Yeah, and then it was just all Jonas Brothers.
You know what
Literally
I
all
was
Jonas
thinking
Brothers.
when it comes to music, just in general, not necessarily concerts, is that for much of the year, in terms of releases, it seemed kind of slow. It seemed like
Yeah.
there had not been a lot. But then, really beginning with the Jonas Brothers' newest album, we're
Hmm.
going into a second half of the year. We're already in it, and there's so much stuff going on. You got the Jonas album.
Hmm.
You had Man's Best Friend, Sabrina Carpenter.
Yep.
You had,
We need to talk about that, by the way.
we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Um, I always mispronounce this amazing artist's name wrong. Is it Lauf? Not Laffy. That's how I said it for a long time. It's
I always say Laufey because I don't know how to pronounce it.
right. Leve. Leve, I think is how you say
I
it.
think it's Leife or
She
something.
had a new album 2 weeks ago, which I'm enjoying. Then
Yep.
you have Taylor Swift, new album coming out,
Hmm.
which I'm
Hmm.
excited for. And then Beatles, they remastered their Beatles anthology, which was this great documentary from the '90s that's going to air on Disney Plus. And they're
Love it.
reissuing the Beatles anthology music remastered and remixed with some new stuff. So there's so much going on in terms of releases after what was a fairly quiet start to the year, in my opinion.
I agree. And it was a quiet year for touring too. I feel like a
Hmm.
bunch of like maybe like three or four big acts and then, not really much. I mean, I don't want to discount the other artists, but like just lesser known artists in between.
Hmm.
Um, what do you think of the Sabrina Carpenter album?
I knew you would ask me this question. Listen, I, I'm gonna. I would always be honest with you, Alex. You know that, right?
I know. I know. This is
I
why I have
happen
you on the
to
pod.
really, really like this album, and I think it
Hmm.
may be a great album. And the reason I say that hesitantly is because it's getting so much criticism online from the fan base. I don't know if you've seen
But
people's
like
takes
why though?
online.
I have, but I don't understand why.
I'm going to tell you my theory. Okay,
Tell me.
so Sabrina Carpenter has made music for years.
Mm-hmm.
Then she comes out with Emails I Can't Send, which was a very strong
Mm-hmm.
album. Then you have Short
I
and
actually
Sweet.
really liked that one,
Me too.
but I
It's a
really
great
liked
album.
Short and Sweet.
So Short and Sweet is a very unique album in that it sort of is stratospheric. You
Mm-hmm.
have not only Espresso, which was a mega hit, a once in a lifetime, a song of the summer for eternity type thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the album was so insanely catchy. You had
Mm-hmm.
songs like Please, 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 Good Graces, which is an amazing pop song, Juno, slower
Mm-hmm.
songs like Sharpest Tool, Coincidence, that are just, it's ear candy.
Yeah.
And that sets such a high standard, I think, in listeners' minds. It's why sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you have artists that release an album for the first time, which is remarkably good, and then they call it the sophomore slump, where they release their second album, and it just
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
do as
like,
well because it's not as good. Now, that's not Sabrina Carpenter because it was not this is not a sophomore album, but you have this high standard that's been set. And even though I love the album, I will admit to you that on first listen, it was not as catchy. It was not as accessible. Only
mm-hmm.
now, after listening to it several times, which is easy to do because it's a short album. I like short albums. They're
Yeah,
easily
it's like 30
digestible, right?
minutes, right? Or something, a little over.
Exactly. Um, the songs are fun. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
they're quite inappropriate, and you got to be mindful of who's around you when you're listening to the lyrics. I'm 45 and still think I
Sabrina
think I'm too young
Carpenter.
for this stuff. But by the way, I'm not 45. I'm 44. I gave my age wrong on the
Yeah,
show.
but
I'm
don't age
82.
yourself, Scott.
I'm
Yeah.
82. I'm too young for the lyrics.
Imagine.
But anyhow, it's but the songs they're catchy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I actually think "Manchild," which was the first single from the album, is
Mm-hmm.
not even necessarily in the top 5 for me, which
I
is an
agree.
interesting take.
It's not my
In terms
favorite.
of the highlights for me from the album, I like "House Door," which reminds me of '90s R&B.
Mm-hmm.
I like "Tears." I talk about an inappropriate song. I
I know.
like "Never Getting Laid." I think is a top track.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much good stuff, but that's my
I
take. I
know.
highly recommend the album. How about
Yeah.
you, Alex?
I only listened twice.
Okay.
I feel like uh you taught me the rule. I think it was you or we had talked about it. Like you have to listen like 3 times because I
Mm-hmm.
always jump the gun and I think I did it with the Casey Musgraves album. We recorded a podcast and I was like, I don't like this. It's new. It sounds different. And then I ended up really,
Deeper
really
Well,
loving it.
right? Is that Deeper
Yeah,
Well?
I think it was when we did Star-Crossed.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Because I think all of our music is amazing, but yeah, I kind of had a similar vibe with Man's Best Friend. But on the second listen, I really, really started to like it. And I think I was annoyed at first by Manchild because I don't like that it's the opening track and
Mm-hmm.
it was the single. And I know that's probably like typically how it works, but I think it just got so annoying up front that I was like, oh man, like really? But then as I went through, like I really, really started to like it.
Mm-hmm.
But
It
short
definitely
and
grows on
sweet
you.
is so good. Like Juno and all of
It's
that.
one of those albums.
It's
It's
so
kind of
good.
like an album that you and I both love. Speaking of Casey
Mhm.
Musgraves, and that's Golden Hour. It's one of
Mhm.
those special albums that will never
Mhm.
be
You
touched,
just
never
play it.
be replaced.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's hard to hold other albums to those standards.
I
Um,
know. I know.
e-
I'm trying to
Even
think
though
of
we,
other
we
ones that
sort of are inclined to do that.
I know. I do that all
But
the time. It's
but
horrible. It's a
Sabrina, an
horrible
album that
quality of in me.
it's a very good album, and I think this may be a hot take, and maybe we could have a 4-hour podcast just talking about this, but I think right now she may be the bigger pop star over Taylor Swift. I think that Taylor Swift is a pop star,
Ooh.
but like
Mhm.
if you thought, okay, who's the biggest pop star in the moment? Is it Taylor? I mean, she's a pop star, but she's more than a pop star.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
mean,
think it's
Sabrina may hold
Sabrina
that
now.
title for another couple of weeks, and then Life of a
Yeah,
Showgirl
and
comes
then
out.
when Taylor, yeah, when Life of a
Can
Showgirl comes out, it's over for everyone.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
What is your take on all of these artists, Taylor, Sabrina, and others, releasing
Mhm.
multiple variants of their albums? So you have like 6 different vinyls and like new countdown because there's another vinyl. Do you think it's too much?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so annoying because in that space, I feel like there's a fine line between like, oh, we're doing this because we can't really press like a lot of these vinyls with liquid in it or that have like splatter, because that stuff is very expensive and it's expensive to make. But like, we're only like, I can appreciate a limited run of something like that. But on top of that, you don't need 7 different colors of vinyl, because there's a
Right.
fine line between like being creative and having a money grab. And I feel like it just becomes a money grab.
It does
Like,
become a money grab.
I don't want to pay $15 for you to like flip a page in the CD booklet and show me that one in the front versus the original. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it gets to a point where you're like, oh, at
And
the end
there's
of the day,
people
you
that
have the
pay for it.
same copy. Right. I mean,
There's people
no
that do
shade.
it. No shade, but
I'm too
it's too
involved.
much.
I'm too involved, so I have hot takes.
No. It's. I think it's gotten to a level that it hasn't been at ever. It's just
Yeah.
too much. So like with the new Taylor album, oh, new
Mhm.
countdown. What does this mean? Are we going to get a single? Oh no, it's now an orange variant of the
Orange
vinyl.
yeah. Like,
And
I'm
on
just
this
like,
cover, she's looking this way, or this cover, she's looking that way. You know, it's
mhm.
just too much. It's just too much.
Yeah, it's way too much. And from a Swiftie like yourself, you know,
I'm keeping it real.
that's, yeah, you are keeping it real. I respect it. It's, yeah, you won't catch me buying it unless it's like super, super limited edition and it's going to add to my collection.
What you and I
But
both like, if we're lucky enough to get a hold of it, are signed albums. That's kind of
yes,
our
yeah,
thing. You know, you
yeah.
get these artists like Jonas, like Sabrina and Taylor
Mhm,
that will announce, okay, sign CDs on our website, and they're
mhm,
reasonably priced, and they go like that. I mean,
yeah,
on and off. And I've missed out on some, but the ones that I've gotten, including an amazing gift from you at one of our holiday
that's
gift
right.
exchanges, which I'm looking at right now on my wall
I
opposite
was
me,
gonna say, and it's coming up. It's coming up soon.
the
If
holiday
we're
gift
doing it again
exchange.
this year, it's my
Was
favorite
that?
night of the year. I
I
said
know.
if we do it again this year,
Oh,
it's my
if we do it
favorite. Yeah,
again,
no,
I
it's a
mean, is
when.
Taylor releasing an
It's a
album
when.
on October 3rd?
I'm dead.
Oh, it's
Yeah, we
happening.
have to
It's
do it. It's happening.
I have a
It's
team
so
of
happening.
advisors by my side listening to this, coming up with gift ideas based on what we talk about.
I love it so much. It is my favorite night of the year, and that
It's
was
fun.
really the one I think I was it the Casey Christmas.
Yes.
That was cool. That was really
Yeah,
cool.
that's a cool.
I
It's a
kind of
great
wish I got
album.
one for myself too, so I could frame it. But
That's how you know
I
it's a
love
good
that I
gift
got
if
it
you
for
get
you.
it for yourself as well.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. So I have a question, and I've kept you for a long time, so we can wrap up after this. But
Listen, I'm available for the next 10 hours, so we could keep going.
well, we could keep going. Have you heard of Role Model, the
Yeah,
singer?
Role Model, the band that sings Sally, right?
Yes. Have you
Yes.
listened to the album, like his album,
No, but it's.
Kansas
I
City
was
Girl?
actually thinking to myself that I should.
I think you should, and I think we should podcast about it
You like
because
it, obviously.
yeah. It's different. It's different, but I would love your take on it. Um,
Um. Okay.
and
Yeah.
second, Olivia Dean. Do you know Olivia Dean?
Yeah. She doesn't. She sing the song that was a big hit this summer.
Maybe. I don't even know if it's a hit, to be honest.
What's
I
the name of
just
it?
like I maybe in like the last I gotta look it up. Um,
And I
what's
have a
the one
band
that's going crazy
recommendation
on
for you,
TikTok right now?
Olivia Dean. I'm sure I would know it if I heard it.
Yeah, you would totally know it. I think it's
By the way, have you seen Role Model live?
yes, because he opened for Gracie.
Who was Sally that night?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman,
That was a
legendary
good one.
actress.
And I didn't know that he did the whole like who's my Sally tonight or like where's my
Yeah,
Sally tonight? And then I saw him perform on the Today Show and it was Al Roker and I was like, I'm dead.
that's a great Sally. Honestly,
It
that's the
was
best.
so good. It's the best Sally. He had like a glass of wine. It's like 5:30 in the morning. It's great.
That's what they do on the
Um,
Today Show. They're drinking the minute it starts.
I know. You know what? No shade.
No
um,
shade.
yeah, those are my two right now.
So
I feel
Olivia
like that
Dean was the other one.
I'm on. Yeah, Olivia Dean, Role Model. I just listened to the new Royal Otis album, which
Okay,
is
yeah.
not typically my thing, but I really liked it
Okay,
a
I'll
lot.
give that a chance.
Really, really liked it a lot.
You want a recommendation? I've seen this band. They're on Kimmel tonight, actually. The Marias. Do you listen to the Marias?
I've never listened to the Marias, but I hear so much about them.
Yeah,
Should
I've
I
seen
listen?
them not in person, but online at their Coachella sets and Lollapalooza. That's how I got into them. Actually, was at through one of their Coachella sets. They're great. They got this amazing lead singer named Maria. She's got this. Honestly, it's a very like sexy voice. It's unique, and the band is
Hmm.
a combination of R&B, jazz, rock. It's really unique sound, but they are good, really good.
Love it. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
listen. Every time I
we have
leave
our
the Stuff
homework
We
to do.
Love podcast, I have, homework. Now we have homework on this pod. All right, should we do some rapid fire before we wrap this up?
Absolutely, happy to do it.
Okay. We might have already touched on some of them, but
Okay,
okay.
I'm nervous.
Last song you listened to today?
Oh, actually, it was from. I didn't know what it was. Uh, it was Luther Vandross, and I'll tell you why I listened to it. What song was it? Love Won't Let Me Wait was the song. I watched this
Oh, it's a great song.
unbelievable documentary about Luther Vandross yesterday that's available for streaming on HBO Max about his life. And I had been a
Mm.
Luther Vandross fan, and he had this amazing, it's available streaming, this live album from Radio City from 2003. And
Wow.
I bet you didn't expect that answer.
I did not expect that answer. I thought it was going to be Sabrina Carpenter.
I've been
Um,
listening to her a lot today. I listened to House Tour a few times, and I listened to the whole album today, and one of the others. But yeah, so Sabrina and Luther today. That was the combo.
Love it. A wide variety of songs.
It's true.
um,
I really mean it
which
when I say I listen to everything.
I know you do. That's why I go to you with all my musical hot takes.
No.
Speaking of, did you watch the Billy Joel documentary
On
yet?
HBO, no, it's absolutely, I'm going to watch it. I just
You have
haven't
to.
gotten around to it because I was doing so much traveling in August. I kind of
Mhm.
fell off the wagon with movies, TV shows, and stuff. So
Same.
I'm going to be
You
watching it.
gotta.
Did you like it?
I did really like it. It was long,
Hmm.
but I really, really liked it.
Do you know they released a streaming soundtrack which has tons of demos and outtakes and stuff? It's like
Really?
8 hours
I didn't
long,
know
I
that.
think. Yeah.
Oh my
Go
God.
online
A
and you'll see
classic.
it. Yeah.
Classic. Like I'm gonna have to listen to that on a road trip.
Yeah. No, it's good road trip
Um,
stuff.
I'll have to look. My dad is in the credits
Is he
for
really?
some
Okay.
I was watching and I'm like, "Did you know you're in this?" He's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're in
Wow.
the credits." And
That's
then
very cool.
he started sharing the news I told him with other people. I was like, "You didn't even watch it yet. Stop sharing my news."
Right. No,
um,
that's cool though.
all right, your personal album of the year. I think I know the answer, but if you had to
Oh,
pick one.
well, I don't know. I mean, Greetings from Your Hometown, maybe so far, which I think is a tremendously
Ooh,
strong album. Um,
okay.
but it's very hard to answer that question. You know, the Grammy does their album of the year. It's not a calendar year, sort of that odd.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I'm strictly thinking of it from a January to December thing. Taylor obviously is entering the picture, so I'm very
Yeah.
curious what that's going to be. What did you think my answer was going to be?
I thought it was going to be Sabrina's album.
Oh, it could be. It definitely could be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I take both. I'll tell you both, Jonas and Sabrina right now. But Taylor's on
Okay.
the horizon.
Love that. Love that. Remember
I'm
when we
waiting for
made
Travis Kelce's new album.
yeah, it's gonna be like short poems or something.
I got
Something
him on my
crazy.
fantasy team, one of my fantasy teams this year. I'm very excited.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Ooh,
I'll
it's gonna be
probably
good.
lose.
I don't know how any of that works. I was gonna say
Yeah,
you probably win, but maybe not. I don't know. Um, okay, it's a tough one. Revolver or Sergeant Pepper's?
great question. That's a really great question. I think my answer is Sergeant Pepper's.
Good answer.
Revolver is a remarkable album. And
Hmm.
that was the moment. I mean, the album before Revolver was Rubber Soul, which was kind of like a folk rock album. To go from that to Revolver is a remarkable progression. And on Revolver, I mean, the hit songs that are on there, the classics, you have Eleanor Rigby, Yellow
Hmm.
Submarine, Tomorrow Never Knows. It actually has my
Hmm.
favorite Beatles song of all time on there, which is Here, There, and Everywhere.
Love
So
it.
I love Revolver. That being
Love it.
said, Sgt. Pepper to me is so unique. No album in history
Hmm.
has come close to it. It has a great flow to it. It's a concept album in a way
Hmm.
because it's like, oh, the band's starting the show, and then you go through the show, then they have the reprise at the end, and then the show is closed out. But the songs are not all about the same topic. To me, to have a true concept album, you have to have a similar theme throughout the whole
Right.
album. But Sgt. Pepper is a artistic achievement that stands unique in history.
Yeah.
Um, and my favorite song on Sgt. Pepper is actually a song that not a lot of people would choose. That's She's Leaving Home, which is my
Oh, it's a
favorite
great
song from
song.
that album. Only
It's a
features
great
John
song.
and Paul. George and Ringo are not on that track, which is not surprising because it's all strings based from what I
Hmm.
understand. But it's just remarkable. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful song.
Yeah.
What
It
do you think?
is.
Do you think Sgt. Pepper?
Oh yeah, it's my favorite Beatles album.
Yeah.
Hands down. Always has been. I think it always will be. I don't know if anything, you know, I don't know if I'll ever change my mind on that one.
Can I tell you something
Um,
interesting? You're going to maybe hang up on me when I tell you this.
yeah,
First
should
time
I
I
get
heard
ready
it,
to
I
click
didn't like
stop?
it, Sgt. Pepper.
Oh, that's crazy.
I didn't like it
That's
because
crazy.
it was when I was getting into the Beatles. First Beatles album I got was A Hard Day's Night. I hadn't, you could define the Beatles eras by their facial hair. I hadn't gotten into the mustache era, which is the more
Fair.
psychedelic era. So it was so
Yeah.
drastically different from everything I
Hmm.
had heard. Only when I listened to it and got more into it did I realize this is unbelievable.
It's the 3 listen rule. You
The
have to
three listen
listen.
rule. That's right.
You have to listen at least 3
Excuse me.
times. It's
Yeah.
so true. It was the first, I think it was the first Beatles album that I fell in love with. Truly. Like it
Yeah.
from start to finish. Cause I'm like a no, like I don't want to skip. I want to listen straight through. I'm
Hmm.
like a no skip. I just want to, because I feel like it should be listened, an album should be listened to straight through. And
It's a
that is
beautiful
one where I
album.
could literally listen over and over and over again on
Yeah.
vinyl specifically. I need to hear it on vinyl.
Vinyl's the
It
best.
just makes me so happy.
Yeah, totally.
Um, okay, last question. If you could bring any band back together and hear one song live, what would you want to hear?
Do all the members have to be alive?
No, dead or alive.
Ooh. Oh my, this is a tough question.
I
I
know.
mean, I feel like I should say the Beatles and give a Beatles song. Um, but that's too obvious an
It's
answer.
too obvious the listeners don't know that, but I know that
Mm.
it's too obvious. You know what I mean? But I didn't think you were going to say that. I don't know what I thought you were going to say, but I wasn't like I wouldn't expect you to say Beatles. I don't know
In
why.
my mind, I've narrowed it down to two things. One is a band, one is an artist. Okay, my
Hmm.
gut instinct is to get back the Beach Boys, and
Oh, I know.
the five. They've gone through different members, but I'm thinking Brian and Carl Wilson and Dennis Wilson and let's say Al Jardine and Mike Love and Bruce Johnson. My favorite song of all time by any artist is "Wouldn't It Be Nice" by the Beach Boys.
Hmm.
So I would
Hmm.
love to see those artists in their prime, 1966, 67, performing that song. That would be wonderful. The other answer, again, it's not a band, but I would like to see 1950s Elvis in person. I think that would be
Yes.
pretty amazing. And
Yeah.
doing something like Heartbreak Hotel from 1956. I think that would be so cool to
Hmm.
see Elvis in the 50s.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. Two
Yeah.
very good answers.
Yeah, no, that's a really great question. What about you? What's your thought on that?
I feel like I always say Queen, like
Mm,
Freddie Mercury, but I don't know. You kind of got me on the Beach Boys. That's a
yeah.
good answer
Beach
because there's
Boys are,
nothing like Pet Sounds. I mean, it's like insane. But I
it's
would be so
good.
disappointed to hear one song. I want to hear the whole thing. I want to hear the whole album.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's very interesting because when Brian Wilson passed away earlier this year, on TikTok, there was this sort of newfound focus on the song "Wouldn't It Be Nice" and the
Hmm.
intricate harmony arrangements.
Hmm.
When I was on my recent Disney trip on the Stuff We Love podcast TikTok page, I released a video from the Polynesian resort, and it was the entranceway. We have these waterfalls. It's very beautiful, very
Hmm.
tropical. And as the sound, I did the harmonies from "Wouldn't It Be Nice," and that took off. It got a lot of comments, several
Yeah.
thousand views. That their music resonates now with multiple generations, and I think unfortunately, with his passing, yeah, that was tragic, and I still really,
Hmm.
I don't think I've fully absorbed it. I think about it, and almost sometimes kind of stops me in my tracks when I think about it. I think that it did make people realize just how remarkable he was and the band was, and
Hmm.
I like to see "Wouldn't It Be Nice" get the attention that I think it deserves. If you go on Spotify and you look at the numbers for streams from the Beach Boys, I think "Wouldn't It Be Nice" is far and away the number one song, and it is great.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great song. Great song.
Pet Sounds and Sgt. Peppers are
Oh, I
they're
know.
linked, obviously, in history, and they're
Hmm.
both works of art, like Van Gogh and
Yeah.
Monet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
If I
Allie
had to
G
like,
Show and Stuff We Love podcast.
yeah, obviously. Duh. um, yeah, I mean, if I'm thinking of like three albums that really, really stick out to me in that way, in the same like way of like I don't think it could ever be recreated, it would literally be Pet Sounds, Sergeant Pepper's, and Tapestry. by Carole
Tapestry's
King.
great.
Those are three that I'm just like it'll never get old.
Again, we talk about memories and moments in time. I remember being in high school, and the girl that was my prom date to the junior prom came over to a friend's house driving a convertible. And the song, she was listening to Tapestry. She was listening to I Feel the Earth Move. And just like you remember those moments, it's a great album.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fantastic.
Such a great album.
Yeah.
One time and then I promise I'll let you go because I'm chewing your ear off. Speaking of memories, I faked sick once to stay home from school, not knowing that like I was about to go do what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
And like my mom was working and my dad was supposed to go in the city for work, and his work was like meeting with Carole King. So it was like sick me, Chuck, and Carole King, like in this like I don't know where it was, but it was like crazy like room on like a roof or like it was like giving Penthouse, but it was empty. So like
So
they
you
probably
met with
recorded
Carole
there
King
and
on a
again.
day off from high school.
Yeah, not even high school. I think I was like I had to have been like I wasn't old enough to stay home alone. I don't know what the age is for that these days because I don't think anybody
That is
cares anymore.
remarkable. That is awesome.
I was like, I'm sick. I'm staying
Your
home.
teachers would understand.
Yeah, they would respect it. They probably
Totally.
knew anyway. But no, Scott, this has been the best time ever.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for coming on the Allie G show.
Thank you.
We'll have to do a Stuff We Love Allie G crossover collab
Totally.
at some point.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was awesome, and I'm so happy for you and the success you're enjoying on your podcast. It's a great podcast. I subscribe. I look forward to all the new episodes. I am inspired by it and your guests and their stories. So it's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Well, as you already know, I'm inspired by you, and I know that a lot of listeners will be inspired by you too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Story. I always have the best time chatting with Scott. He's like one of the people I text anytime something happens in the music world and I need someone to discuss with. We love sharing Peloton class stories and workouts, and I loved what Scott shared with all of you about his journey with fitness. And as always, if you enjoyed this episode or track, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff, and follow along on Instagram at @the_Allie G show for updates and new track releases. And be sure to keep up with Scott on Instagram at Stuff We Love Podcast, because Scott is awesome. His podcast is awesome. And I've been on a bunch of episodes making fire playlists, discussing album releases, doing album reviews, and so much more. And I think you guys will also really like that. So check in with him, follow along with me, and I hope you enjoyed this episode.